Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana, and I am so excited to be celebrating 10 years of meaningful conversations with you. As we step into our new primetime hour, it's such an honor to share this exciting new chapter with you. So whether you're starting your day out, headed to work, or listening from wherever you are, this hour is designed to bring you thoughtful dialogue, fresh insight, and inspiring stories so you can make every moment count. So thank you for being here with me today, and let's dive in. We're here today with special guest, Deap Ubhi, who's here to share with us Amazon Web Services. AI is making it easier than ever to start a business. Side hustles are turning into startups, and more first-time founders are launching companies without a technical background. But while AI is lowering barriers to entry, going from a great idea to a great company comes with challenges. Questions about security, scaling, and managing costs often arise as company grows. Here to share with us how founders are navigating all of this is Deap Ubhi, Global Head of Technology for Startups at Amazon Web Services. So welcome to the show, Deap Ubhi.
Thanks for having me, Marianne.
Well, what an honor it is to have you here and to talk about this. So let's just dive in. How is AI helping to fuel the wave of startups that we're seeing?
Yeah, well, great question. And, I would say to you that, the simplest answer to that is, the sort of the practice or the craft of building software, understanding how to write code. That is no longer, just the domain of experts like computer science folks and folks that have been in and around building software for many, many years. It is now very much the providence of anyone who's got an idea, who is creative, who wants to build, who identifies a customer problem that they are passionate about and wants to solve it. And I think that's a wonderful thing. I think it's wonderful that we are democratizing, our ability to solve problems for other folks, whether those are customers, whether that's in the sort of the nonprofit space. Like it really does kind of open up opportunities for everyone to be able to build things and put them in the hands of customers. And it largely has to do with, again, these coding agents that can build software and write code on your behalf just through natural language commands.
Well, that is so exciting to hear. So we don't have to be like a real tech guru in order to create and manage a really successful startup. Because I think most people feel like we have to take all that on.
Yeah, I don't think we do. I think what's probably happening, Marianne, is the very definition of what it means to be technical is shifting, and I don't necessarily think about it as non-technical and technical. It's that, hey, Marianne is technical and Deap is technical now. And our peers and our friends can all be technical because we now have these really powerful AIs that allow us to be technical, that allow us to take ideas, that allow us to take our thoughts, that allow us to even bounce ideas off of an AI and ask it to challenge us and ask it to refine our ideas. Like those are all things now that make all of us potentially technical. At AWS, Marianne, we've just launched this new tool called the AWS Startup Advisor to do that very task on behalf of folks that have ideas. It is to say, hey, I am here to listen to your ideas. I'm here to help you refine your ideas. And then when you are ready to, I will help you build that idea into functional software. And I just think that's a wonderful thing.
So will that help founders determine whether or not a problem is worth building a business around as well?
I think that that's something that probably still is in the realm of human judgment. I think what AIs can do is they can be a sounding board, but they will not be the decider. So if you have an idea today about wanting to solve a particular problem for, loved ones or stakeholders or customers, and you want to turn it into actual business, I think AIs are very competent at, helping be a thought partner. But I think that the control is ultimately in the hands of the individual, the human, who is then going to make the determination saying, hey, I appreciate you being a sounding board for me. I want to go ahead and build this because I have the conviction that I need now through bouncing the ideas off of an AI or even to some of the folks that maybe, are advisors to you or mentors to you. But it can absolutely help in that process, Marianne, 100%.
What are some of the things new founders often overlook that can hurt their chances of success?
Yeah, this is an area where I would say to you that not much has changed. Founders that get really, really excited about ideas and have conviction around their ideas, they want to move really fast. And of course, one of the things that AI has done, it's really compressed the amount of time it takes to get an idea out into the world. That's wonderful. So speed is now an advantage that we all have. But oftentimes, when you're moving really fast, you will cut corners and you will overlook things like cost. What is it costing me to build this? Or security? Is the software I'm building, is it secure? Is it going to be secure in the hands of my customers such that it's not subject to a malicious attack, from a hacker or something like that? Those are things that have been sort of, challenges for founders even before AI, and it is today too. And again, the startup advisor that I referenced earlier, Marianne, the reason why it's so powerful is it actually helps you, take a lot of the steps you need to take in order to control costs and implement best practices from a security standpoint so that those things don't come back to bite you in the future.
It's such a big deal to make sure that our infrastructure is secure, especially in today's market.
100%, Marianne. Yeah, and I think that again, if you've been sort of tracking, all this new software that's being built now in sort of the age of AI, there have been scenarios where unfortunately, software has been taken advantage of or gotten into the wrong hands, and I think it's a really, really important thing for founders to consider. Security and cost are two things that again continue to be central in sort of how AWS helps our customers. And again, the startup advisor is a great way to use an AI that is essentially the codified, sort of knowledge of, the guidance that we've been giving as humans. Now the AI can do just as well.
Are there other blind spots that founders need to be aware of when they start a new business?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Marianne. I would say that one of the things that, don't want to get into the weeds too much here necessarily, but when you use an AI today and you ask it a question, the response that you get is essentially what we call tokens. Each character in that response is effectively what we call a token. And tokens are not cheap. Tokens can be very expensive. There are emerging techniques to make token output more efficient. I think this is something that is not necessarily a blind spot, but it is something that has become more front and center for startups that we talk to day in and day out. They are thinking about token efficiency. They are thinking about token cost. They're thinking about ways in which they can get the exact same output from the AI without the amount of tokens being expended. That's something that I think is very, very, very interesting and an emerging sort of set of considerations for startups. I think that's an area where I would say not necessarily a blind spot because I think there's awareness around it, but it's an emerging awareness.
Well, that's extremely interesting. Thank you for sharing that. So, how can AI startups grow from investment and money output to incoming revenue faster?
Yeah, I mean, again, the way that it can is if any builder looks at an AI and actually starts to sort of think about it as almost like a co-founder. It is your business partner. It is not just an AI that is going to write code on your behalf, but it, again, like I mentioned earlier, may be an AI that is going to help you refine your ideas. The way that you get to revenue faster now with these tools is that, again, the time to value has been drastically compressed. The amount of time it takes for you or I or anyone else that's listening to you here, Marianne, is you can talk to an AI and you can have an idea refined. You can get to a place where you've developed conviction and you can have the AI actually build an initial prototype within a matter of days. I mean, that's a process historically that would take weeks, months, quarters to do. And it would take, teams of people to do this. And now between you, your ideas, your conviction and the AI, this can be a matter of days. And that means that, a prototype can get in the hands of your customers much faster. That means that your customer can give you feedback much quicker. It means that you can iterate a lot faster to take into consideration that feedback that you got from customers. And that virtuous cycle kicks off much, much, much faster than it ever has historically. And that's how, anyone who's thinking about building using, Startup Advisor or any of the AIs that are out there can get to revenue a lot quicker than they historically would have been able to.
Well, that is definitely very exciting to hear. Well, Deap, where can our listeners go for more information?
Yes, I would encourage everyone that's listening to open their browsers and go to startups.aws. So startups.aws. There you will see a plethora of benefits that AWS has afforded to startup founders for years and years and years, including startup credits to sort of blunt the effect of spending money and investing upfront. Like we will help you with that. And more importantly, the startup advisor that I mentioned earlier can be downloaded from there. And I would encourage everyone that's listening to, again, just start talking to the startup advisor. Have your first couple of questions to the startup advisor just be totally natural, language questions that you would ask your best friend. Hey, what do you think about this idea that I have? What do you think about the market size of this idea that I have? Is it something that you think is, easy for me to monetize? Plan with it, ideate with it, and then eventually have it, build your software for you. And I think it's going to be a wonderful experience.
Well, Deap, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, Marianne. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Deap. It's been such an honor to spend this time with you and to talk about Amazon Web Services. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You're listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary. A recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.